is the 10 volume of Kittle's. Aion. Lifetime, age, generation, space of time or time, in eternity, endless time or eternity. Aristotle returns the conception of aion as the relative period of time allotted to each specific thing, so it depends on the context. That's what he's saying. In accordance with his doctrine of the eternity of the world. In the sense of eternity or unending time, both Plutarch and the younger Stoics are familiar with the term aion. In Hellenistic age, the word acquires religious significance in virtue of the fact that aion becomes the name of a God of eternity. Let me give you something here. Well, let me read this and I'll give it to you. Aion, in the sense of prolonged time, eternity. The concepts of time and eternity merge in the formula in which aion is linked with a preposition to indicate an indefinite past or future, in the sense of from the ancient past or from eternity, in the sense of forever or to all eternity. Only in the light of the context can it be said whether aion means eternity in the strict sense or simply remote or extended or uninterrupted. The full significance of eternity is perhaps to be found in such passages, and he names a whole slew of them. And then he says, ages and periods of time whose infinite series constitutes eternity, also designed to emphasize the concept of eternity, is the twofold use of the term in the formula. The twofold use is linked with the plural. We can pick out the components. And he says the idea of stretch of time belongs from the very first to the word. I'm just reading some things I've underlined. The eternity of God. Aion has the full significance of eternity when it is linked with the concept of God. It depends on the context of the word. Well, the apostles are not saying, you cannot say every time the word aion is used, it means an age of people you're living in. You can't say that. When you look at the word aion in, let me give you something here. In John 8:35, look at John 8:35. Let me give you a couple of these, because these are important for you to know. John. Y'all can't believe how people mess up the Word of God. And they don't bother. They just, somebody told them, that means an age, so we'll take it as an age, and they just leave it at that. All right. John 8. Wait a minute here. 8:35. John 8:35. 8:35. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. Now, forever there, when you back up to verse 34, Jesus answered the Pharisees, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. So he's saying, the servant of sin abideth not in the house forever. He's talking about sin is not going to be forever, but the Son abideth ever. Now look over here in John 12. John 12. John 12. Verse 34. 12:34. The people answered him, we have heard out of the law that Christ abideth forever. There's the word aion. Do you think that this word aion in this case can actually mean an age? Can it possibly mean just a period of time, 80, 100 years here? Is that what it means? Christ abideth for 100 years. That's ridiculous, isn't it? That's the word aion. The same word, world, there in Matthew 24:3. Let me give you a couple more of these. Look at 1 Corinthians 2. Look at 1 Corinthians 2. I'm giving you just an overall picture so you can see. These people really, 1 Corinthians 2. Romans, Corinthians.
But for people who believe preterism, what's the advantage?
Huh? I don't have any idea what their advantage is. I think they like having something different, so they came up with this and said, look what we've got. Huh? They like to twist the scriptures so they can have something different. Now look here in 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 7. 2 and verse 7. We speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which God ordained, and the word ordained is prohorizo. Predestinate is the word. God predestinated before 100 years ago, 80 years ago. See the word world? Aion. God didn't predestinate something for a little short age, did He? Or a generation of people. He's preordained us before the foundation of the world that we should be holy and without